Hi, hello, and welcome to the Okayest Mom podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Miller, who just happens to be the mom to three beautiful kids, plus a comedian. And it's early. It's early. I did this early because now that school's back, I can go teach again, just subbing. That way I can do all of the other fun things I've been doing. So I was having trouble coming up with a time to record, and early seemed great at the time. Now that it's happening, I'm not sure. Mostly because I'm just like, everybody else is probably asleep right now and don't want to comment, and that's okay. That's okay. I'll try to keep it moving. I've got today's moms have crazy birth plans. Did you guys have birth plans? Even if you're a dad, did you at least have a maybe not a written plan, but just you kind of thought you knew what was going to happen? I think once you're a mom for, multiple times, you start to realize planning that birth it's nonsense. What's the point? So let's get into this. Before we talk about these moms, let's talk about you guys. What are you guys up to? If anyone's awake. Is anyone awake? It's 6:30 in the morning, Central Standard Time. So I think on a different coast, it's probably a reasonable hour. Somebody's already here, just probably out delivering the mail, huh, Gary? Yeah, our friendly neighborhood mailman. I'm glad to keep you company, and I'm hoping to be louder this time. I have my microphone. I'll try to get a little closer to my microphone. So what's new with you guys? I have some comedy shows. I need to talk about that. I always forget. I'm opening for Adam Bush this Friday in Broken Arrow. And Sunday, September 25th, I'll be in Oklahoma City. And I'm working on a really cool family fun comedy night in Broken Arrow for October 22nd. So that's a little bit of a warning notice. And I'm going out of order. I'll be at the Vanguard October 6th. That's also Tulsa. So I need to get out of Oklahoma. I love you, Oklahoma. But I think people here are going to get tired of me. So I need to, hit me up if I can. I'd like to get back to Arkansas, all these places. Gary's here with me. Thank you, Gary, for keeping me company. And of course, it's giving me fits where it's making it very difficult for me to just scroll and see the comments. So I really appreciate that, Facebook. No TikTok live right now. I think maybe next time I'll try TikTok live. The first time I got kind of bullied, and I'm so sensitive. I know it's so dumb. These kids come on here and say things. Rabul is here. I think maybe spamming me. Hi, thanks for spamming me. I appreciate it. No offense, we're not talking about our Lord and Savior right now. So that's fun. That's new for Facebook for the morning time. Maybe that's just a special. If you do it before noon, you get spam comments. That's never happened on the live feed for me. Oh well. Okay, so comedy shows out of the way. Are you guys watching anything on TV? I try to think of this before. I've got a couple of things I'm watching, but none of them are like sparking me as like, I have to tell everybody. When you get one of those shows and you're like, I have to just tell everybody. So I'm going to talk about a different podcast. It's called The Dream. This one really sparked me. What happened was, I also, here's a second podcast recommendation, 2 for the price of 1. I listened to My Favorite Murder. Are there any murderinos out there? Hello, murderinos. And I think I'm pretty much caught up, and so I thought, let me just go back and listen to some older episodes. And in an older episode, Georgia from the podcast mentions another podcast called The Dream. And The Dream is all about multi-level marketing, like pyramid schemes. And it's very interesting. Just because I thought I kind of knew, I guess, or at least heard of 1 or 2 of them. Or I didn't realize there were so many. I think, and I fell asleep. So I could be totally wrong. It seems that most episodes are about different MLMs, and I guess I'm listening to it so I can keep from getting pulled into an MLM. I think I'm listening to it. I was like, oh, I think I almost got pulled into an MLM. In fact, early 20s, not the year, but when I was early 20s, I sold Avon, and listening to these. Then I'd say Avon's one of those, and I don't remember being pressured to like get people under me, but I think if I had people under me, I would have actually made money. It was difficult to make money. I think that's another sign of an MLM, like you only make money if you get people. So maybe Avon was that. And I just remember each month I had to buy a ton of brochures to hand out, and I might have spent $30 on these and made $0 because you only make money if people order from you. And I do remember like one time spending $30 on all of these catalogs, and then somebody ordered a lipstick and I got $2 for it or something. So $30 to get $2, do the math. That wasn't working out. And then I feel like there was a huge problem with the lipstick, and somehow it was my problem, my fault, and then I had to do a return, and it was just a mess. And unfortunately, yeah, I would take those brochures to my church, and I at the time I was either going through chemo or just done with chemo, and that's kind of what I did just to try to earn a little extra money and do something that would go all, I'd be able to do around all my appointments. So I think people felt sorry for me and just bought stuff, but then returned a lipstick. What was wrong with that lipstick? I will never remember. Oh, and then they didn't even order for me. They just knew, oh, this girl sells Avon. She's an Avon lady. They called me on, I want to say it was Christmas morning. It had to have been Christmas morning. They had a question about a product from Avon. They had bought it somewhere else, but they knew I would know the answer because, if I have the booklet, I know everything about everything. And some Christmas present wasn't working, and apparently that was my fault because I sold Avon. Now, I know none of that is Avon's problem. That's more of a people not understanding how things work problem. Like, don't call someone on Christmas. Gary was in a MLM. They do a lot on Amway. I haven't finished it. I'm listening. I think episode 9 or something's all about Amway and how it went all the way to the top. I think presidential is what they're saying. I had no idea. I do remember buying Amway. Maybe you sold Amway to my mom. I don't know if you're that old, actually. We did have Amway. What did we use? It must have been a soap, a cleansing thing for our kitchen or something. We didn't use it long, so it must have been expensive. I bet you Mom was just like, I need to buy this Amway from this lady who has cancer. I feel bad for her. So we need to support this person. That's the thing with those two that they're saying is the reason people get into the MLMs is they just have a personal relationship with that person. They almost feel maybe guilty or just like, oh, I got to buy it from her because she She needs it. She needs the help. And maybe they do. But the sad thing is, they don't really make much money unless you start selling it yourself. I've got my coffee here. I'm going to upload the video. I made a video. I'm trying caffeine-free coffee alternatives. Decaf has a ton of caffeine. I went 3 months cold turkey, no caffeine. During Blue Well Comedy Festival here in wonderful Tulsa, Oklahoma, I had a little caffeine. I felt horrible. So I had 2 diet sodas. That was it. I don't even know how much caffeine's in it. And I was like, oh man, I do not feel good. The next day I was having trouble waking up. So the cycle continued. I had a cup of coffee. It's my first coffee in 3 months. And I got the little coffee from Cane's. Sorry, Cane's. But it was like they have a little eatery in there. I think they're more for like food. But the coffee was just like, it really didn't do much for me as far as like flavor. But I regretted 3 months no coffee, and then that was my first coffee. What was I thinking? Anyways, needless to say, I felt really horrible after having all that caffeine. So instead of doing absolutely no caffeine, I'm just gonna do, caffeine in moderation. That's what I was thinking. And so for most days, I probably, I might not have any caffeine. But if I want caffeine, I'll have it, just not a lot. That's kind of what I've decided. So what I'm drinking now is roasted figs. And it looks like a little tea bag. Look at that. Kind of gross, sorry. And does it taste like coffee? Not exactly. But it doesn't not taste like coffee. Like I said, we'll post that video sometime soon, maybe. And Gary says that Betsy, DeVos? I'm just going to say it wrong because it's early. Trump's education secretary. She was an Amway heiress. And that doesn't surprise me. From what I'm hearing, it went all the way to the top, as they say. Let's see what else is happening just around the world or in the news. I've got some stories right here. I can pull up. Oh my goodness, did you hear this? I just saw this. I don't know when it happened. Let me see if I can get the date. I found this on dadpatrol.com. They're acting like this just happened. I'll see if I can get a date for you. A man swiped right on a surprise baby. I'm sorry, that sounds weird. Like, what? In this day and age, we need to explain that. A man swiped right on a surprise baby when his Tinder date went into labor. Can you believe that? So, I'll kind of just summarize it because this is one of those clickbait articles where every 3 sentences there's a advertisement. How exciting. So this is Max and Alyssa, and they met on Tinder. So they actually had been dating for 8 weeks. Online dating, and then this was going to be their 4th date. So when you know that, it's like, oh, okay. He knew Alyssa was going to be a mom. And apparently she was supposed to pick him up from the airport for their 4th date, and they were going to go have fun. But before their date, her water broke. So she had just told Max, we'll just do it another time. I'm kind of busy right now. And he got a different ride from the airport and said, hey, Alyssa, you want me just to come? You want me to come to the hospital? You seem to be like, perhaps you might want some company. And isn't that so sweet? After only 8 weeks, obviously, the baby's not his. Which, it's sad these days when you're just like, even if the baby were his, you're like, oh, that's so sweet. He actually went to the hospital. He did something. This isn't even his baby. So he ended up going to support Alyssa, even though they'd barely started dating. And Alyssa actually considered saying no because she's like, what if you help me give birth and then we just break up because, you know, we hardly know each other. So sounds like she's a reasonable person and she understands, you know, how relationships work. But he came and helped her throughout the whole thing, and it doesn't have a date on here, but you can go look at Alyssa_Jane01 on TikTok. Maybe it'll say when she uploaded it or something, because she uploaded a TikTok video all about it. So Max was there, and she had a baby boy, and she really appreciated having him there with baby Ollie. That's his name. And the couple are still together, and there's a picture of them on her TikTok, and Max is holding baby Ollie, and it's really sweet. It's almost enough to make you want to cry. That's good news. Sometimes these news stories are a lot worse, so that's kind of nice to see that she didn't ask him to come. She just assumed, hey, this isn't his baby. He's not going to want to come up to the hospital. But lo and behold, turns out there are some really great guys out there. I know. I'm married to one. This one is not as good story. Did you hear about this one? It's on Yahoo News. And it's about some yahoos. We'll tell you that much. Sons smash up dad's cars. Cars, plural. They have more than one car. I didn't read this for a week, so I don't remember. Okay, sons smash up dad's cars with hammer after he refused to share the $3.6 million lottery win. Okay, so your dad gets money and you just assume it's yours. That doesn't seem quite right. Okay, so this is another one where they have to explain what a lottery is, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I know what a lottery is. And lots of clickbait. Okay, so he says, okay, it says, this summer, The Sun, S-U-N, so like a newspaper or something, revisited a dozen bus drivers from Corby, England, who won $44 million in the Euro Millions lottery in 2012. This was a long time ago. What? Oh, because it's been maybe 10 years. Like, what happened? The group were able to retire from their jobs and enjoy their winnings. Some splashed out on cars and boats, while others lived relatively normally, continuing to shop at discount stores. That would be me, because, hey, there's no high like getting something that should be $100 for $5, which I did at a bin store once, and I'm trying to do it again. It's hard to replicate that high. One family came to literal blows over the windfall when Alex Robertson refused to share any of his $3.6 million winnings with his sons. One of them smashed up his new cars, plural. So this is what it's called. They said, we ended up taking hammers to his two new 4x4 Shoguns. That must be a European thing. I am so bad at cars, but I've never heard of a Shogun if it weren't a restaurant. So I'm hoping that's a European thing. I have no idea. Man, and he's blabbing it. Like, did you already go to jail or something? So Alex Robertson Jr. Alex Robertson Jr., he already gave you his name. Like, what else do you want? We walked up his driveway at 11 o'clock at night and put 2 claw hammers through the windows of the car. We then reported ourselves to the police. That's not how you do crimes. Okay. Oh, well. This lottery win was the worst thing that ever happened to us. Because you thought because somebody else had something that you were entitled to it. So maybe your own entitlement is the worst thing that's ever happened to you. Ever thought of that, Alex Jr.? Is that his name? I've already forgot. It says it ripped our family apart. His brother William, 44, was charged with harassing their father by sending him threatening text messages. Okay, so maybe what we've learned here is just don't tell anybody if you win the lottery, huh? Authorities dropped the case against William when Alex Sr., who had moved to Spain, declined to testify at trial. Oh boy. And then they go on to talk about, I think, other prizes and not going well either. So, what would you do? I guess that begs to the question. If you win a lot of money, what would you do? Would you share it with family? Because I feel like if it's my kids, they're going to get that. They're going to get all of this when I go. So maybe there was a little talk about how they're not going to get anything when when they're done for or something. I think when somebody earns money, it's theirs, even if it's a win, and it's up to them what they do with it. Sure, would it be great if they shared it with everybody they know? Yes. But if they shared it with everybody they know, then they wouldn't have money anymore. I think those kids should have played the long game and just waited, because now for sure they're out of the will, right? They could have gotten those Shoguns. There were 30-year-old Shoguns, whatever a Shogun in 4x4 is. It kind of looked like almost an off-road thing. I don't know. It's kind of like a truck. I'm so bad with cars. I don't know. Man, to be grown and feel like your parents still owe you something. I have not asked my parents for anything since I was 18 years old. And even then, I think they offered. I don't know. I feel like my parents would just be like, we want to give everybody $1,000 now, and then you can have some later. But I don't know. Even then, I feel like if they gave away all the $1,000, they could have put that in a bank, and we could have had interest, and it would have grown by the time they passed. So, there's just no perfect way to win the lottery. Today's moms will make you feel better about the mom you are, because they went crazy before they gave birth. Did you go crazy before you gave birth? I like to think I didn't. I feel like, because I've given birth thrice. I have 3 children. And the first one, I think I had kind of like a plan A and a plan B, but also I put it in there in I don't think I wrote it out, I was like, you know what, it'd be great if I could just do this naturally, but I'll just take it play by play and see, if it gets bad, I'll do an epidural. I think most places make you sign something right away, like to plan on having an epidural, and they like threaten you that if you don't do the paperwork before you get there, then you would not be able to have an epidural if you needed one. Yeah, I feel like that's a thing. Maybe that was my 3rd baby. After you have the first one, then I feel like you shouldn't have a plan for the first baby. And then after the first baby, you can start planning, because then you have an idea. But what usually happens is the second baby is way different than the first baby. That's what my doctor said. Just whatever happened the first time is going to be the opposite second time. And then, obviously, if you have like a C-section, I think you're supposed to have just multiple C-sections. Don't take my word for it. I'm not a doctor. I don't know why I'm trying to tell you guys how to have your babies. Let's make fun of these moms and feel better about the mom we're being. I found this on babygaga.com. You think she's related to Lady Gaga? I don't know. 20 most inappropriate birth plan requests. And of course, there's the whole, let's explain what a birth is. Birth is when a baby is born. So if you've never had a baby, which is great, that's awesome. That's fine. sometimes moms will actually write up what they want in the delivery room. Typically it's like for sure I want an epidural, or for sure I want to try not to have an epidural. That's kind of the normal thing. I'll have to tell you what my final birth plan was at the end. Don't forget, Nicole. Do not forget. So the 20th one, because this is the top 20, is, it says contractions. No. Pressure waves. So this mom said that her birth method refers to contractions as pressure waves and labor as birthing time. And she wanted everybody to call. I'm sorry. I can't imagine the point here. She wants contractions to be called pressure waves. Because your whole day you're using this word everywhere else. So when you're in her room, you have to completely change your language and your your definitions and your dictionary. I don't know. I think it'd be very hard to go all day calling them contractions, but with this one lady, we're going to call it something else. Okay, here's number 19. Another mom went even further and demanded in her birth plan that no one in the delivery room could tell her how dilated she was. It's kind of important, right? It's been a while, but I think you get up to a 10. I think once it's a 10, it's a go, so you kind of need to know that. So you know how close you are to the big moment. Okay, it says, please do not report dilation centimeters out loud or even whisper them. Like, why would they whisper? Okay. It's okay to send or smoke signals to my partner and mother. I think the smoke signals have to be a joke, because that would be so, that'd be so dangerous in the hospital to have fire. Okay, so she explained, knowing these numbers could completely depress me and ruin my optimistic outlook for the idyllic birth I have my heart set on. So what she's saying is, if she's been in labor for 17 hours and she's a 3, that could stress her out. And I kind of see her point. Maybe she has given birth. Maybe that's what happened before. She's like, never again. Like, I think she should say, though, like, start telling me when I'm at 8, right? Or else you'll just all of a sudden start delivering some baby and you won't know what's happening till it's happening. That sounds, it's flawed is what I'm saying. It's flawed. Oh, so this is about, I never know how to say her name. She's now one of the Jeopardy hosts, and she was Blossom, and she's in The Big Bang Theory. I think that's the one it's called. Mayim Bialik. I don't know her name. I'm so sorry. Mayim, you know her. You know Blossom. Apparently, she said that her son, Miles, was able to watch the whole thing from his high chair while eating granola because she had a home birth. Apparently, other moms thinks that's crazy. Let's see. He was 3 years old, so a little traumatic, a little young. I watched my mom give birth to my sister. I was 12. I only watched the one. She knew it was the last time. It was the last baby of 7. So I wasn't traumatized. I know there were some younger kids in there. I think they watched. I was like behind the doctor though, so I had the full view. I think some of them were on the sidelines, out of the splash zone. I didn't get splashed. It was weird. Um, you know what? Thinking back though, I mean, I don't mind that I saw my sister born. Would I be fine if I never saw someone give birth? Probably. Oh, it's time for me to wake up. Good morning. Um, would I be? I think I'd be fine if I never watched a birth. But I think it helped when it was time for me to give birth. I had this experience to draw back on a little bit. But like we've been kind of saying, every birth is going to be different. Okay, so Mariah Carey, they didn't say this was about celebrities. Mariah Carey played a song she demanded. That's what it says. Did she, though? The singer demanded the hospital staff to play the live version of her song Fantasy as background music during labor. I don't know that one. The only one I know is All I Want for Christmas Is You. Like, what if it was a Christmas baby and so she just played that song? Oh, okay. So, apparently playing music is weird. Did you guys play anything? I might have had something. I don't know. Playing. So this mom gave birth to R&B sounds. I just need to send this really quick, sorry. I don't think that's weird, but okay, so Sarah W. made a selection featuring some unconventional beats. I delivered our daughter to the likes of Destiny's Child, Salt and Peppa, Kanye West, Queen, and the Ramones. My midwife joked that if Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back came on at any point, she might keel over laughing. It did, and she did. I don't think that's weird. It's just music. Everybody has their own, sense of taste. I think maybe a meditation, like something really soothing. I think that might be probably what most people are used to. So number 15, this sounds weird. And I'm regretting not reading this closer before recording. I'm doing my best, you guys. It's early. Number 15 is saying no access to the private parts. That sounds impossible because that's where the baby comes from. Yeah, I remember that from biology and from my 3 births. Well, 2 of them. Sure, no one likes it when a bunch of people we barely know stares at our nether regions for hours. But when a woman is giving birth, she needs to deal with the fact that it's likely to happen. Yes, get over it. Plus, it doesn't look normal, okay? So, they're not really seeing the real thing. That's what I'm telling myself, okay? However logical it is, some moms don't want to show their lady parts so much that they end up disallowing hospital staff to check on them at all. What? Why go to a hospital? Moms.com says that there were at least one instance of a mom adding this request to her birth plan, thus creating an additional challenge for the personnel. They're not going to call her out? That's it? Okay. How do you think this baby's going to get here? I think this is the type of woman who's just like, I'm just going to do a planned C-section. I'm completely healthy. There's absolutely no problems. I just don't want people staring at me down there. Like I said, it doesn't look right down there. So they're not really seeing it. It's all stretched out. It's not going to look that way forever. Wi-Fi in the delivery room. One mom added decent Wi-Fi access as a requirement to her birth plan. Well, maybe she had her Salt and Peppa playlist and she didn't want to download it. I will also be updating the Birthing, Breastfeeding, and Babies Facebook group that I'm part of every 5 minutes. I'm not just giving birth for me. I'm giving birth for Facebook. And if she doesn't have Wi-Fi, by golly, she cannot give birth. Oh, she's a mommy blogger. Okay. That's the way to do it. If you don't blog it right then, you might forget it. Honestly, you might. She refused an IV because she needed free hands to text and take photos. Okay, lady, get good at texting and photos because you can do it with an IV. That is a little weird. Number 13. We have 12 more to go. Some parents, usually moms, plan to eat. Oh, I hope nobody's eating right now. Some parents plan to eat their placenta. Why? So they do say it's usually turned into a capsule, so it's like a vitamin or something. Gross. Still gross to me. I still love you if you ate your placenta, but I think it's weird. There's at least one person in the world who would want to. A dad, Joe L., shared with She Knows that he wanted to eat the whole thing after cooking it at home. Okay. I really hope he did that for like attention and he didn't actually do that to eat it. Blech. Unfortunately, he didn't think of adding it as a request into the birth plan, so his intention failed. Oh. So he wanted to eat it, but then he couldn't. Oh, no. Now he's going to make it on the birth plan next time. Oh. Okay. So, now we know. Now we know. If you want to eat the placenta, you got to put that in writing because I don't know why. I feel like there's probably like a process. Oh, I don't want to think about it. Let's move on. Silent birth, number 12. Oh, the late Kelly Preston. This is John Travolta's wife. I mean, you don't have to say John Travolta's wife because Kelly Preston made a name for herself. But still. So, as Scientologists, one of the most popular belief systems among celebrities. Come on. I can only name like a handful of celebrities who are Scientologists. And they're dropping like flies, so I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far. According to this belief, when a woman gives birth, she and everyone else around her have to be silent. You know. Because you're pushing a human being out of your body. Just do it quietly, you know, because Scientology is going to help you with that. So in 2010, she was set to maintain silence. It's just no words as much as possible. If you need to moan, if you cry out, or all of that, of course, it's normal, but just bringing them in a peaceful and gentle way. Okay, so no unnecessary noise. I think I'd love to have just like a soothing, like an ocean, like a sound wave. I don't know if that's the name of it. Something like that, probably. But I don't know if that would happen at the silent birth. She just didn't want somebody coming in there screaming at her, You better push that baby out. I don't know if that would happen. Oh, this is... I think I might be having some contractions right now. This is a little bringing back some memories here. Nobody yelled at me. Okay. I am so sorry. How do I turn this off? Hold on. I looked this morning. I didn't see any more alarms. And I think because I just didn't scroll down far enough. That's how early I was awake. It's a standard procedure in most hospitals to use IV and fetal monitoring. So this is number 11. Being strict about no IV and fetal monitoring. Some moms are completely against IV and fetal monitoring. And in their birth plans, they even state something like, I think this is from an actual birth plan, don't you dare come near me with an IV or fetal monitor. So the fetal monitor it is a little controversial because I believe they stick it in the baby's head if their head is in the right place. And it might be like a little needle. Ooh, it sounds horrible, but they're going through so much at that time. They're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. They were made. They were made to be squeezed through. Okay? They were made to go through all this. I think that's one thing we kind of forget. One thing I haven't done is look at our comments, and Gary had a good one when we were talking about don't say the centimeters out loud. He suggested do a smoke ring, one ring for each centimeter. Like they're smoking in the labor and delivery room. Well, see, it doesn't work. Even if it's a cigarette, I don't think you can do that in a hospital. Maybe a oxygen tank could blow up and it just wouldn't work out. So, yeah, I think the lady was being facetious when she's like, no smoke signals, don't talk about it, don't tell me my centimeters. Number 10, requesting the images of rainbows all over the room. That's one I never thought of. You think that would help you give birth, as if there were rainbows all over? So this mom requested that images of rainbows be hung all over the labor room so she could visualize herself transcending through the different color levels when she was experiencing pain. Actually, I think that might be kind of great, but I guess I'd suggest just maybe asking if you can hang them yourself, and then just hang them yourself. Number 9, filming the process for a reality show. Somebody named Rachel Zoe. I don't know her. So this girl named Rachel, she was giving birth to her first son. And I guess she has like some fashion show because it says she was going to make it the most fashionable childbirth ever. According to Jezebel, she packed Chanel sweaters and high-heeled boots, saying, if I'm going to be a mess, I'm going to be a glamorous mess. You don't want to bring that because it might be a mess in there, and then now your boots and sweater are ruined. Sorry. Excuse me. Minutes after her water broke, Zoe was brushing and spraying her hair. And she also had her partner film everything to show it in her reality show. But later she realized that it wasn't that easy to remain glamorous during the entire process. You think. Sometimes, you're going to get sweaty. And there's going to be all sorts of fluids and matter coming out of your body that you cannot control. She says it's such an unglamorous experience. And she was disappointed that she couldn't have a birth and look amazing doing it. Girl, same. I know. I was fine with it, though. I didn't expect to look cute. Oh my gosh, number 8 is the ice bucket challenge in the delivery room. Do you guys remember that? The ice bucket challenge? People would challenge each other to pour an ice bucket on themselves. None of them thought to challenge a woman in labor. And then she did. There was a woman who asked in her birth plan to pour cold water on her when she gets too stressed during labor. Do you think they warned her, or do you think they just did it? Number 7. Something special to eat right after delivery. That's not unreasonable. Because if they told you 2 days ago you need to stop eating because you're in labor, and then it takes you 2 days to have that baby. It felt like 2 days for me. I think it was more like 12 to 20 hours. I don't remember. But you're so hungry after it. That's not inappropriate. It's hard to give up something you love, even if you really need to. But if you do it for the sake of your child's health, you'll probably harness your willpower and get through it. Jamie S. did it. She had gestational diabetes. Been there. That sucks. It's horrible. She couldn't eat sweets, so she knew exactly what she wanted right after delivery. She says, I packed Melanios. Those are those little cookies, I think. They're Pepperidge Farm, maybe, and little chocolate on there. I know way too much about sweets. Okay. I packed Milanos for the hospital and told my hubby I wanted them next to me the minute the baby was born. Oh, and it's so great because you are watching your blood sugar so closer than diabetics when you have gestational diabetes. And then I remember having, I think, like a real soda. I don't even drink soda now. I don't know. Maybe I drank soda back then. I think I did. I don't think I did much diet soda then. And it was just so exciting because they had to check your blood sugar even though, you gave birth. I remember having a soda and like pizza and cake. And then my blood sugar was fine. And just that feeling of like, just it's over with. I can't imagine having diabetes all the time. But that's the thing with gestational diabetes. They said you got to watch it. That means you might get it for real when you're not gestating. When you're not gestating, just have regular diabetes. Number 6, they said no to the vitamin K shot, but yes to circumcision. So I don't understand that, but so the vitamin K shot is required for newborns' healthy circulation, and most hospitals circumcision can't be done unless it's administered. That's the thing. Okay. So that was a difficult one for them. No meds for the baby, no vaccines, no formula, no vitamin K shot, but we need the circumcision. It doesn't say what happened. So hopefully the baby's okay and everything got figured out. Number 5, covering the chest at all times. That's Christina Applegate. She's on, I forgot it now. Oh, it's such a good show on Netflix, and they cover up the murder. What is that called? Okay. Ever since Christina Applegate defeated that all too common disease by having a double mastectomy, she's become very self-conscious of her chest. Aww. So, she has her reasons. She says that body, this part of my body is very private to me. So she wants to cover it the whole time. That's fine. Cover it the whole time. And even if you didn't have surgery there, I think if that's what you want done during your birth, that's not unreasonable. The baby doesn't come out of your chest. So you can cover that part. Number 4, don't you talk to me. Sounds like something I said. This mom explains in a article by She Knows. She says, I didn't want people in my space breathing on me or trying to coach me through labor without a clear invitation. That's reasonable. I think what's amazing is like people actually sat down and thought of all this beforehand. I wouldn't have thought about it. Number 3, allowing everyone in except for the woman's mom. She was ready to invite everyone to join her, but didn't want her own mom to be there. She said, I don't think my body would have willingly released an offspring into the world with my biological mother in the room. Too dangerous. There's a story there. Okay, there's a story there. Probably we don't want to know. We'll be too sad. So I guess my new goal is to be able to be in the room when my daughter gives birth. Number 2, giving birth on a birthing swing. I've never heard of that. One mom asked to provide a African birthing swing in her birth plan, but it was denied for a simple reason. There was no swing, and moreover, nowhere to hang it in the delivery room. I'm sure you need some kind of special support system for that. Some kind of special ceiling. Okay. And number 1, this is probably becoming more common place. It sounds weird to us now, but in a couple years we'll be like, yeah, everyone does that. So, number 1, going gender neutral right away. We didn't know the gender of our baby and just really felt like it shouldn't be the most important detail about our child. So we didn't want anyone shouting it's a boy or it's a girl when he or she was born. So that's that. That's 20 crazy birth plans. I couldn't find my birth plan that I wrote for my final child, my third child. Let me see. I'm gonna write it out right now. It's gonna be backwards. So I should have written it backwards. I don't know if you can tell what this says. I don't know what that is. So I don't know if you can tell. Let me see. Let me see how bad this is. I can kind of see it on the screen. Yep. You can kind of tell what it says. I did joke. I think it was just on Facebook, and that was my birthing plan. OUT out. That was the plan. It's the baby's in, and he needs to be out. And that was a good thing too, because I was induced, and then it didn't work for hours and hours, and then the epidural stopped working, and I told them it's not working. Then there was some kind of emergency with my heart and the baby's heart, and they took me to a C-section. I was like, but I don't have an epidural. They're like, it's probably fine. And they did the emergency C-section without an epidural. They knew immediately that the epidural wasn't working once they cut into me. So it's a good thing I went in with just like, hey, however this happens, I want him out. I guess I would add and also I'd like to bring home a baby. I spent 9 months cooking him, making him perfect for me. So I'd like him to come home with me. And he did. And I think there was a moment there where that couldn't have happened. Might not have happened. Like my first birth, I feel like I had a little more of a hope for just natural. And then she just didn't want to be born. And I was done. So I was like, let's go ahead and induce. And when you induce, it's very painful. So I was like, you know what? I've already induced. It makes sense that I get a epidural. So I just did epidurals, and my mom never did. 7 babies, never had an epidural. At the time, I thought she was just being brave and stuff, but now I think she was just trying to save money. We had 7 kids. She just wanted to save money. And those epidurals are expensive. Seriously expensive. Okay. I've struggled with how to end this. So let's say all the things. Follow my Facebook page, OKS Mom, if you want to know about these live recordings, and you can pop on, and if you have an awesome comment or something, I'll use that. I usually post beforehand what it's going to be, and you can post a story. You don't have to be live, and I usually read those. I didn't see any this time. I hope I didn't miss that. And so on Facebook, you can be a part of it. But if you're listening to this on a podcatcher, please follow, subscribe, review, tell a friend, tell your mom. And, oh, look at that. It's time to get the kids to school. So I'll see you next time. Bye.